In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of the radio affiliates. Do appreciate you joining us each and every week. This program is actually produced at Fairfield Christian Academy. Do appreciate the students that help put this program together. Behind the scenes is Kelly Roberts, our executive producer. Back by popular demand.
Hello, Dave.
Chief Mark Consolo, Millersport Police Chief. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be here.
And for the folks that may have missed our program last week, just tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Millersport, Ohio.
Well, a little bit about me. Of course, we elaborated on my mom.
Yes.
And how outspoken is she? Just most wonderful.
And for the folks that missed the program last week, his mom was born actually without arms.
Yes.
Did everything with her feet, including washing, driving, taking care of you, changing diapers, the whole thing. Yeah.
Cut my hair.
Cut your hair.
Yep. She also was a motivational speaker all over the United States.
Right. And
she was very inspirational. It's amazing. And you can see shots of her on YouTube if anybody wishes to look at her clips from her movie and I think her book is available to be ordered on Amazon. Right. And she was just amazing. Just amazing.
And now you've been the chief for 4 years.
About 4 years.
Hard as that is to believe.
It's gone by quick.
And in a great 4 years, we talked a little bit about the Community Watch program
Absolutely.
Last week.
And I think that and working conjunctively with your Community Watch program, right. I think they've been very successful, and I think they've done a great job.
Yeah, and I know that when you were starting that, you got with us, and
yes.
we kind of shared some information.
Absolutely.
And last week you mentioned that you have 10 active Community Watch members, which is fantastic.
And they do a great job. And,
yeah.
and it's because they live there, they're vested in the community, and they want to see things stay good and,
right.
and positive. And I think they do an awesome job.
And again, we mentioned this last week, but I think it's worth repeating. If you are from the Millersport area,
yes.
You can give the chief a call through the Millersport Police Department, and you have about, 20 hours of training?
Yeah, about 20 hours of training, basic, and then, of course, they have to go through, a hiring process where we have to fill out an application, a background check. And other than that, get them suit up and get them working with the commander, who's Mark Thogmartin. I forgot to mention that last time. He has done a great job, moving things forward. And I think it's a great program. And
an important day was in September 11th, where you actually had a prayer walk in
yes.
Millersport. And one of the reasons for that was to kind of highlight the positives on law enforcement, because
yes.
we know that probably within the last 24 months, there's been more negative stories about police than I've seen in my career.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been doing this job for 24 years, and I've seen some negativity over the last year and a half or so that has just startled me, and that's kind of the reason why I put the concept together to try to do this, to create a symbol to inspire positive thought, to maybe get some people asking some questions, to understand what our job is and how important it is, and the ultimate sacrifice that we make every day when we go out there to do the job, and how dangerous it is. And anyway, I just want to say that the principal of the high school, Jeff Stout, he's been very supportive of the program. When I brought it to him, almost it was probably about May or June of 2014, and he was very supportive and got with the lady who coordinates, the teacher who coordinates the art department, Sarah Reed, and she put together about 10 or 11 students. And they just started working on it this year, probably about May of 2016 they've been starting.
And this is actually a mural.
Yes.
Which is kind of taken from the...
They are right here working on it.
And that was actually originated out of Washington, D.C. under the police memorial?
Yes. Yeah, the rose above the shield, and which represents, all the fallen law enforcement officers, as you know, over the many years that law enforcement has been going on. And what a great aspect was is these wonderful students are, they're working on this project, and they've been very, enthusiastic about it, but they didn't really understand the meaning behind it. And I had one or two of them come up to me and they asked me, it goes, "This is really awesome, but what does it mean?" And I kind of, elaborated on it, what it meant in the background and the history, and they were just totally set back. Right. And now they've even been more proactive in trying to get this done, and they've done an awesome job.
Right. And I read, and I'm not sure that I really remember the figures exactly correct, but I think there's been over 20,000 officers that have given their life in this country in law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Since our history.
Well, I really wanted this to inspire positive thought, and them just knowing now what it really means, and hopefully they'll and here it is progressing as they've been working on it. They've just done an awesome job.
And so there'll be a rose that's going to be put. We don't have a picture of that, but there's a rose that's on that.
Yes,
too.
Yes, that'll be the final piece that they'll do with it when they get it done. But I mean, they've just been awesome, and then of course Terry Staley, who organized the prayer walk. She came to me and also talked to the village administrator Vince Popo, and of course the mayor Gary Matheny, who's been very supportive of this whole initiative. And they want to do this prayer walk in support of law enforcement. And they have a huge group with their church, and they come down and they wanted to just to show their support for law enforcement. And of course I coordinated it with the mural, all to be done at the same time.
Well, what a wonderful thing to do. And again, we mentioned earlier that there's been so many negative stories about police. And I think the reality is every year there's millions and millions of interactions. If I remember correctly, there's like 30, 40 million. I may be wrong, and that's probably low, of interactions between law enforcement and the community. And unfortunately, when there is some controversial situation, that is what we see on the news. It's played over and over again, and I think it really skews the good job that the officers do 99.5% of the time.
Absolutely.
And so it's been unfortunate because I've seen things, at least on a national level, and even some locally, where at a point in time it probably wouldn't have been on the news, but now it's there for a lot of different reasons.
Well, and I just wanted to try to turn some of that negativity into a positive, build bridges with the community, get them to ask questions, get them to talk about it, make them understand a little bit more about law enforcement and what the ultimate sacrifice is. And here's more of almost a finished picture of what they've been doing. And and it's going to be wonderful. All the paints and everything they used to get the mural done was donated by the Millersport Hardware. They were great in coming forward and putting everything together to where we could get this done. And then, of course, the students have just put a lot of time into this mural. And, of course, I've gotten some interest. I've received some interest from, the Columbus Dispatch, 10 TV News, and talked to some people at the Attorney General's office. Of course, you're very supportive of the project. And so it really has, I think, made an impact.
And one thing we might mention, we're actually taping and recording this program before the event.
Yes.
So it's already passed as you listen or watch the program today. But so I know you'd invited a lot of different dignitaries, and I know I'm going to be there along with other members of the Sheriff's Office. So a great time. I might also mention that at Fairfield Christian Church they had a 9/11 service for law enforcement. I know you're going to be a part of that.
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't miss it.
Lots of things going on. We have with us Chief Mark Consolo with the Millersport Police Department. Talked a little bit last week about the Millersport Lions Club Corn Festival that's there every year. What kind of challenges does that present to the community?
It does present a big challenge because there's a lot. I can't remember the exact numbers of last year. Thousands of people, and the traffic is just incredible. And of course, at any time, as far as with traffic, anytime something can happen. But with the deputy presence there and our officers working together, I think we've been pretty successful in keeping any type of negativity down to a minimum. I think there haven't been any real serious types of traffic accidents. I think they've done a great job in keeping the public safe. So I think working together in unity has caused a good impact on the community.
And how important it is, the partnership. It's between the Sheriff's Office, the Millersport, the other groups. I know you're an investigator with the state of Ohio, and along with your other responsibilities as the chief. So how important is that partnershiping?
I think it's very important because, you know, if law enforcement communicates and then passes information and then works together as an effort, I think it makes an impact on crime. I think it definitely it is a challenge, of course, but I think that we have done a good job at overcoming that. And I think that when the street deputies work with our officers, of course, I give all your street deputies access to our office because it's such a far up in the tip of the county, and they've utilized, you know, our stuff there, which and I'm glad that they do that because that and again, we work together, we help each other. And I think our ultimate goal, and I think the community, of course, you know, appreciates that, but our ultimate goal is to reduce crime, make public safer, and to also keep an eyes and ears on the community and make sure that everything runs, you know, and does well for public safety.
And last week you mentioned that you had now initiated body cams.
Yes. Well, body cameras, I think, are a great tool for law enforcement. Not only is it just used to document, you know, what happens every time an officer is involved in a situation, but it helps with critiquing officers during training.
Right.
It definitely keeps an accurate account of what happens at the beginning all the way to the end of an incident. The officer is required by policy to, you know, wear the camera for any public interaction as far as a complaint call, or if they make traffic stops, or, you know, if they get sent out on, you know, a back up with one of your deputies, they record everything. We've used it in several cases, and the prosecutor's office just loves the body camera video, and it has helped with a couple of good prosecutions also.
Yeah, I think it's a trend. I mean, I know the sheriff, we're investigating that too. Of course, it's you know, it's a big expense, so we're
Yes.
trying to navigate through that and try to see how that's going to work, and certainly with the storage of the video and those kind of things.
Yeah, the body cameras are definitely a good tool to make sure that everything is documented, and it's good for prosecutions.
Right, right. Well, we're just about out of time. Anything for the future that you see within the police department in Millersport?
Well, I'm trying to make sure that we have good staff on.
Right.
And, of course, we're going to be upgrading our technology because I know that you guys are going digital, and we're going to be upgrading our computer systems, our radio systems in the car, and, of course, our units on the officers up to digital spec. And I think that as long as we keep up with the trend of making sure that we have good communication between departments, that's going to help greatly.
We're just about out of time. Chief
Thank you,
Mark Consolo with the
pleasure.
Millersport Police Department. Appreciate you joining us. Appreciate the good job you're doing there. That Community Watch program is fantastic, and it's nice to be partnering with you and the village officers. It really is.
Thank
Well,
you.
we're just about out of time, and again, I want to thank Fairfield Christian Academy that produces this program, our executive producer Kelly Roberts, and certainly you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. Until next week, same time, same place, God bless, and have a great week.